Before we begin, thank you very much to Scrapnel for joining my Patreon campaign. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for helping to keep the channel going. You guys have been absolutely incredible the last couple months, by the way. So if you are still waiting for a shout out, from the previous way that I did things, you have to wait for the first of the month, and then I'll start going through those, and then I'll get back to the backlog of thank yous that I have for all the people who have signed up since I switched over to like the instant pay system, where you decide when Patreon hits your bank account. So it's a little convenient for everybody, except for me that has to sort through who goes first for the next few weeks. But yeah, I've got a ton of shout outs I'm behind on. Thank you for your patience. Everyone will get a shout out who's owed one. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. All right. So we had our Hasbro Pulse fan stream for Transformers today. Lots of stuff talked about. Not a lot of stuff revealed. Well, yes, a lot of stuff revealed, but hey, we're back to that marketing problem with Hasbro. So let's go over how the stream went and everything that was shown off, and we'll discuss it in turn, and then we'll get to some of the more interesting things later on. So, for instance, we start off, the first thing they showed off was mostly the next Studio Series stuff that comes out for Rise of the Beasts. A lot of which has already been shown off and up for pre-order, some of which has been up for pre-order for like over a month. But Hasbro Pulse has not been doing these Transformer streams for a while, so I guess we kind of have to... I guess it's like when I do the news roundup, things hit on Monday, then I'm going to have to wait a week to talk about. And this is kind of the same way, except they're waiting a month to talk about it. So they showed off in hand the new Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, number 100 in the line, even though we know it's not technically the 100th release. They also showed off Battle Trap, who still looks really cool. It's one of the few from Rise of the Beast so far that's like really hitting me in the right way. And I actually am curious to get. I actually want to buy. They showed off in hand the little RC. That's a more recent reveal. Yep, Core Class Tiny. We know about that one already. We also know about the Air Razor. That one has also been out for pre-order. So no huge surprise on the Air Razor either. And then, who's next? Oh yeah, another one we already saw. So Cheetor was just announced last week. He's up for pre-order, so we get to see him in hand. In hand, his coloring is actually a lot paler than it looks on the stock photos. So I guess kind of go with like a more like, I guess real-world cheetah color instead of like the bright yellow that you see him in as a cartoon. More like natural shades of brown, I guess. But yeah, it's a much darker tone than I was expecting. And I'm still not into the design, but I know people who are, so it's just a personal preference thing. Do we get into stuff that we haven't seen? Okay, so technically, no, they have not revealed Scourge yet, so we actually get a whole bunch of shots and some in-hand stuff for Scourge. Alright, so, yeah, now we can actually acknowledge this toy exists instead of just going off of the people who have stolen it out of Vietnam. So, yes, I've said it before, this is still a really cool design for me. I still really, really like how this thing looks. I think it's a great parallel to Optimus Prime in a way that I feel that, was it Dark of the Moon Megatron being a truck just didn't work out. And even like Galvatron, one movie later, I don't, like they tried to be parallels to Optimus, but I don't think it hits as well as this one does. This one comes across... yeah, like a proper evil style of Optimus Prime. This one, it's a very much Mad Max style vibe to it. Really, really like how cool it looks. All right, and yeah, they had it in hand. Okay, look in hand looks pretty big, but it's kind of slim in some spots. So we see where the budget's going. They showed off some of the details that I think a lot of these stolen photos have actually missed. Like all of the Transformer emblems that are stuck to the grill, which I think is a really cool touch. Like, I love all these logos and faction symbols that are just strewn across this guy's design as if he's, like, keeping track of his kills. So it's a cool little character touch. And I can't wait for a customizer to get one in hand to actually paint in all of them individually. All right. So along with that, they also showed off Freezer. Specifically, they showed off Freezer's alt mode. The one, remember, Freezer was announced weeks ago, and for whatever reason, even when he's up for pre-order, they didn't show off what his alt mode looked like. What does he actually transform into? He kind of flips a gun barrel over his head and calls himself a gun. And that's pretty much your Transformer. Yeah, so he's essentially he is a battle master. Like he's a battle master from the War for Cybertron line, except he doesn't have effect parts and he's $2 more expensive. I'm sorry. This feels like just like we got to fill out the wave. We only have RC in the core class. We need to throw something else in there. I don't know. What about this frenzy looking guy with a stupid alt mode? All right, cool. We'll do that. Over on Instagram, they showed a turnaround of what it looks like independently. It does have a blaster mode, and it has this gun turret mode. This like a gun emplacement. Neither one looks impressive. It's he kind of tucks the legs up, and then his arms become the stand for the gun mode, and I don't know. It's just incredibly boring. I like the robot itself. Like, I like a 4-armed robot. A lot of posability options in there. This is not great. I don't know. I feel like this is a waste. I would rather have another another 86 Autobot or Decepticon in a tiny pocket size. Can we move on to something else? Yes. Look. So we've gone this far into the stream before we've gotten to an actual surprise and something we have not seen at all yet. We have the third of our Volcanicus set, Grimlock, shown off. Weird that we have a set of Dinobots where Grimlock was the third one revealed, but this is the reality we live in. I guess at least the 3 original Dinobots were all revealed, as the first 3. So he pretty much suffers from a lot of what Grimlock tends to suffer from when he's going to be a combiner. They did this in Power of the Primes too, where the tail just looks terrible. Everything else looks okay. For a core class Dinobot, for a core class Grimlock, he looks okay. But that tail, which is just his legs folded up and not even shaped correctly for a tail, that does hurt him significantly. The robot mode is okay. He does look very narrow in the chest, but that's to accommodate his combination in his mode. It's not the best looking of Grimlocks. Even a core class, it's a little bit weird in proportions, and I'm not too happy with how it came out. I mean, I'll get it for the combiner's sake, and again, I think the set's going to look great when all 6 are together on your desks, but individually, these things are just not really showing up. It doesn't help that this one is, again, lacking elbows because of the combining gimmick, which they did show. They did show, something of what the leg mode is going to look like. It's a little bit... It doesn't look correctly transformed because they did it on the fly, and it looks a little bit sloppy. You can see, some of his back shell, his dino neck wings. They're still there. So unfortunately, I don't think that's the best that it could look, but it's the only look we have at it now. So take it for what it will. At least to get some semblance of how tall Volcanicus is going to be. I don't know. So they did admit this is going to be the only core class. It's only going to be the only Dinobot in the next wave. The next 3 will come out as the year goes on. And hopefully it won't be too long before we find out how this Volcanicus is going to shape out by the time it's all done. Still waiting to see who the 6th is. Still curious. All right, they did roll out another core class that I think was pretty easy to predict, but I can't remember if any leak sheet had it. They're doing Nemesis Prime, which is pretty obvious. But the cool thing about this is that they actually threw in an added accessory. He does have an Energon axe, which the original lacked. It's actually kind of a cool little addition. And looking at him now, doesn't even add any kind of I guess the 5mm ports for it, or 3mm at this size, would be covered up thanks to the vehicle modes transformation. All right, so okay, fair play to Hasbro. We actually have a little bit of a reason to buy Nemesis Prime. Though, knowing Hasbro, I would not be shocked at all if the third leg of Legacy actually did have another release of standard Optimus Prime, except with the Energon axe. So I feel like Hasbro's going to do the Malibu Stacy thing, where it's the same toy they released twice already, but she has a new hat, or a new axe in this case. So expect that, but for now, enjoy the Nemesis. It's going to come with a little bit more and not just be your standard repaint. Speaking of standard repaints, so we saw this one already too, but yes, Thundercracker is going to be on the way soon. Pre-order up for this one already, I believe. It's exactly what you'd expect Thundercracker to be. Now, the stock photos do not show both of the null rays, but he does have both null rays, so don't everyone freak out. At no point during this presentation did they mention the Skywarp debacle, where he still does not have his null rays. I was kind of hoping they'd be included with Thundercracker somehow. But again, I feel like that's going to be something for Legacy Year 3. You'll see a Skywarp come out that does have his proper weapons. They'll just rerun the mold again, because that's what you can do with Seekers. But they didn't mention it here, which I really wish they had actually acknowledged that. That is like a really glaring omission, especially now that Thundercracker matches Starscream. Hate when they do that. I hate it. And for whatever reason, I feel like Skywarp is usually the odd man out. It happened in Armada. It happened in Combiner Wars, where Skywarp is the one they got wrong. It's not... doesn't make sense. It's not fair. Let's move on. All right. So we have a name. We have a name for the Motorcycle Deluxe Junkion. This is Crash Bar. And Crash Bar looks fine. We've seen Crash Bar before, but I do like the motorcycle mode. Do really like the robot mode too. I'm really interested to see how these things start looking when you start like cobbling different vehicles together. Later on, like I don't even remember if I got a shot of the slide, but they did announce the name for what is probably going to be the car that's on the poster for the next Junkion, which I believe was Axle Grease, which is, man, as someone whose dad worked in an auto body shop his entire life, like there's a lot of familiar terminology going on with a lot of these new Junkions. I'm not sure I appreciate or not, but I like it's certainly a naming scheme for all the new ones. Again, looks good. Wish we had gotten to see it from official sources sooner. Here is one we had not seen. This one managed to not link. Shrapnel is back, looking really, really nice. Now, like Kickback, he does look fairly simple in the transformation department. But that's pretty much what Insecticons do. That's not really anything unusual about that. So take it for what it is. What I do like is it seems like the face cover and the horns for the Rhino, the pincers, those are all independent, so you can still like have him clamp onto things. You can still have him like sink his pincers into stuff. So that's a fun little detail for the Beast mode. And then the Robot mode looks great. Looks like it's gonna match Kickback spot on, which is what I've been wanting since the what was it? The Legends class they did just never, for whatever reason, they didn't have matching yellows or purples. Stupid. But this one looks like it's going to continue the trend. And we do know, thanks to the poster, that we're going to get Bombshell. They basically admitted, yeah, Bombshell's on the way too. Just give us a while. Kind of have to space these Insecticons out. But it is cool that we are getting the trio in deluxe size. I like the look of them. Again, more simple. But I don't think that's a bad thing for Insecticons. I think that's pretty much what they are. It looks good, though. Looks good. Crosscut, we've already seen as well, so this one was not a big surprise. I think, just by, Hasbro doing any repaint they can, this is, of course, not going to be a surprise to anybody anyway. Let's see. Moving on. Prowl got officially revealed. We've already seen Prowl already. I love the Evo Fusion promo on the back of his box, by the way, because his Evo Fusion is just his stars. It's just his shurikens. That's their whole Evo Fusion thing. Because I guess they don't do anything else. They don't combine or anything. But again, Prowl is looking really, really good. He's G1ified, but he's definitely looking a lot more faithful to his original design than the previous figures were. That were G1ified from Prime. And yeah, I'm okay with this one. I'm gonna be getting this one when he is available. Now came to one that was like a half reveal, because like literally I did the news roundup yesterday and I had to do it on Sunday night because Monday was so busy. But we actually and then Monday came around, and like literally a few minutes after my news roundup went live, someone leaked a photo of Metal Hawk. So all the speculation for that one went right out the window. And it's actually a Cyclonus retool. It's either a very heavy retool or it is a complete reskin of Cyclonus using the same transformation scheme. And I've seen people complain about this, and I go, why? That's such a good toy. Why would you be upset that we're doing it again? I mean, and it's not a bad fit for Metal Hawk, clearly. Like, the jet mode looks good. Looks like it does in the cartoon. The robot mode is just spot on to how he looked in Master Force. This looks good to me. This looks really, really good. I'm glad they didn't try to throw any of the shell details in. It's just the inner robot really, getting a chance to shine here. So that's really cool. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of little differences from Cyclonus. I'm eager to get this one in hand to see just how different it feels. Cyclonus during Kingdom was my toy of the year. That was my absolute favorite figure for that year. So this I am really excited to see how it comes out and how it feels in hand. All right, Twin Cast was the other one that was inadvertently leaked a little bit early. So that speculation also fell out. I was basically right about Rewind, though. He is included. He is the same translucent as Eject was. It looks like, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like that, yes, the translucent plastic has been done in the gray for Rewind, and then the chest window has been painted over in like a translucent red to try and match it to the original. They used to do that to get really good light piping. Like Universe 2 Inferno did that with like clear plastic with like a translucent blue over the eyes. It's the best light piping they ever done. So it looks like they use the same trick to kind of get that red windshield despite window. How about window? To get that red window, even though it's probably gray plastic. So he looks good. They remolded his face, so he's got a little bit more personality to him. I think Blaster would have fit more of that. I kind of feel like Twin Cast is the more stern of the two, considering, he came back from death. Kind of hardens you up a little bit. Yeah. His Evo Fusion is also hilarious. On the back of the box, it shows his Evo Fusion, which is basically just plugging his gun into the back to form an antenna for the boombox mode. I'm like, this is the dumbest gimmick ever. It's just plug stuff in other places. Boom. Evo Fusion. Another one we already knew about, but Skyquake is now officially revealed. I think the coolest thing about this reveal is that they did confirm that he is intentionally designed to let Needle Nose dock on top, which basically confirms that we're going to get some kind of Euro G1, G2 Predator combination stuff with him and his repaints later on. So it looks like that's going to be the plan for Needle Nose and Skyquake, which will be really cool. It'd be really cool to get some Euro G1 love after a long freaking time. There's not a whole lot of areas that Hasbro can go in to find stuff that we haven't already done. So I'm glad they're going in that route. I'm glad the gimmick is actually going to maintain a little bit. It's actually a really good touch. And I do still really like the look of this figure, though I will admit Skyquake from Prime is really the least interesting version that this mold could be. There's so many different good repaints this mold could become, and I'm hoping to see at least a few of them. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see just what direction they go in, because like there's a lot they could do with this mold. But I'm more excited for those than I am anything else. And then they did something which I feel is a direct response to the criticism for how slow their releases are. They actually showed us a few characters that are on the way, but they are not ready to show off yet, and some of these were an actual surprise. So we have Beachcomber, which we did not know about. I couldn't remember Beachcomber showing in any of the leak listings. So the trend of new mini-bots at Deluxe class continues. Still waiting for a few others, but hey, Beachcomber's due, so that's fine. I kind of hope to see him in G2 colors because I had him. I had G2. Beachcomber as a kid, and I like those colors on him. Let's see, we also got confirmation of DevCon. We saw a listing for DevCon, but this is the first time Hasbro themselves mentioned it. So we are getting a brand new toy for DevCon. This one I didn't understand because they admitted it's a re-release of Earthrise Dirge because so many people had trouble getting their hands on it, which basically also confirmed that Ramjet will be on the way too. But why do this? It's a re-release. We know exactly what it's going to look like. So this is kind of silly. This was kind of silly. We also confirmed that we're going to do Dark Leo, or okay, so you want to call him Dark Leo Convoy or Nemesis Leo Prime. Either one it's probably going to be Nemesis Leo Prime, which I think is a little bit too wordy. I'm not really a fan of that name. We need a new thing for the Beast Nemesis. We need something new for the black repaints and for the Beast characters, because, I don't know. It doesn't, I don't know. I feel like they don't all have to be called Nemesis. How about Dark Amber? Let's call him Dark Amber. I think that was cool. And then the last one, which I think, yes, we had already seen this one leaked somewhere as well, but we know now, confirmed, we're getting a leader class Armada Megatron, which all but still confirms the Armada Prime that's in the poster, which they showed the poster again here, but they used the logo to cover up Commander off, like the Commander class Armada Prime, almost like they were trying to like take him off of the roster, almost like it was weird. It was weird. It's like they're trying to censor him, even though they've already showed it off. Almost like the plan got changed or the toy got pushed back or something. But either way, that is the final reveal outside of confirmation that Holiday Optimus Prime is going to get a standard color Optimus repaint at some point. I was really kind of hoping to be like G2 Hero, given the shape of the cab. Something to give it a little bit more flair. I want this toy because I hear this toy is really, really good. I just don't know if I want it again as just a standard Optimus Prime, because then I'm basically going to have that trailer twice. I don't need that trailer twice. I barely need it once. But cool that we actually have like a full confirmation that we're going to get another shot at this in non-holiday colors. And that, my friends, is your lot. Now, removing the ones that were done at the end because they were not toy reveals. Looking at purely the toy reveals here, we were approximately 29% surprised. So about 70% of this is stuff that we had already seen before. And you know what was really frustrating about this one is that during the live stream, Hasbro actually had said, the people on stream actually admitted, yeah, like they're showing off these kind of things, like this one specific. I remember this Nemesis Leo Prime. They specifically mentioned that yeah, we've had it on my desk. I just get to come in and look at it every day. I'm like, why aren't you showing it then? What is preventing you from showing it? We've already seen the mold. It's a straight repaint. It's not like anyone's gonna there's still someone at Hasbro that has this corporate espionage mindset of we can't show it too early or someone will rip off the design and release it themselves. Third party's already a thing and they don't need to wait for your designs to show. They'll just do it themselves. They have for a decade or more now. It's a really frustrating situation. It's basically Hasbro admitting, we've got them already. We have them in hand. We're just not showing you. There's no reason we can't show you, but we're not showing you. So we're just going to keep letting the leakers and the thieves on YouTube, we're going to keep letting them dictate the release of information about our own freaking brand. And then we wonder why why Hasbro's in trouble right now. So, yeah. These are the reasons why I don't get to do anything official with Hasbro, because I like to be honest, and when I think something can be done better, I'm not afraid of calling it out. This is another lackluster Pulse fan stream that showed off very little new stuff, and, they try. They try, but they can do better. And I think in this stream they admitted they could do better. They just don't. And I really wish they'd at least come out and say why. But that is my recap. Those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you're excited for, what you think of all of this. Join me in my outrage at Hasbro's complete lack of transparency with what they're doing, even when they seem like they could be a lot more transparent. But regardless, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.